Hey guys, it's your girl Priscilla Ono, and I'm here with my girl Erin, and we're about to show you guys some of my favorite concealer hacks. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and I'm gonna be using the Pro Filt'r Instant Retouch Primer, which is really going to help so that your makeup lasts throughout the day. So next I'm gonna apply foundation. I'm gonna be using the Pro Filt'r foundation in the color 190. So just applying this all over, a nice thin coat, because this foundation is buildable. I'm buffing out the edges so that it blends in seamlessly into the rest of the skin. So I'm just making sure that I blend down on the neck as well. So we wanna make sure that everything matches. So now I'm gonna go in with the Pro Filt'r Concealer, and I'm gonna be using the corresponding concealer to the foundation. So 190 in foundation and 190 in concealer. I'm gonna take the concealer, and I'm just going to dot underneath your eyes. Now make sure that when you're applying the concealer that you don't go too close to the under eye area, especially if you have more of those fine lines, because sometimes the concealer can settle in. So what I like to do is apply it just below that, exactly where you see that dark circle. Now I'm also gonna take the concealer and I'm gonna dot on all the areas that I feel that she needs a little bit more coverage. So now I'm gonna take the concealer brush. So it has this really cool kind of slope that's flat, but still dense and fluffy, which is so good because it blends in your concealer super easy. I'm taking the concealer and kind of buffing the excess of that blend out right underneath the eyes to make sure that I have this really nice even coat and coverage. But because I put the majority of the concealer a little below, it's not gonna cake up or crease up underneath the eyes. So now I'm gonna start to blend in those little areas that I applied over blemishes. And because I am using her corresponding concealer, it's a tiny bit lighter than her actual foundation, which might brighten this area up a little bit, but it's not super light. So I don't recommend you going in with anything that's like 2 to 3 shades lighter. So if you're using a brightening concealer, I wouldn't use that to cover blemishes. I would use more of your corresponding concealer, or even a concealer that's slightly darker. So now I'm gonna do a little bit of under eye brightening, and I'm gonna take the Pro Filt'r Concealer in 170. Originally I used 190 to conceal under her eyes, and now I wanna brighten. So 170 has more of this really pretty peachy pink tone. I usually like to focus it more on the inner corner of the eye. And now I'm gonna take the little precision sponge, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna lay it flat, and I'm gonna blend this in. So anytime you want something to be more sheared out, you can buff it out with a brush. If you want more of that color payoff, you wanna use a sponge and just slightly pat it, focusing it more on this inner part of the face, almost kind of like a little upside down triangle. So now I'm gonna really dive in deep and show you guys some really cool concealer hacks. So now going back in with 170, that pinky peach brightening shade, and I'm gonna go down the bridge of the nose. So this is to lift the nose, also on the chin to kind of bring the chin forward, and right on the center of the forehead. I also really love highlighting the Cupid's bow of the lip with a brightening shade. Also love going underneath the outer corners because it's gonna turn the lips up and make them look more pouty. You can also take a brightening shade and apply it on the laugh line area of the mouth, but just kind of gives this really nice light on the face. Now I'm going to blend this in with a little precision sponge, again, while it's damp. So now I'm gonna contour with Matchstick's Matte in the color Amber. It has this really nice, cool tone. I love that it never looks too orangey or yellow. It's just that really perfect shading for any kind of contour. I'm gonna go back in with her concealer in 190. And again, this is her corresponding concealer to her actual foundation shade. So the next hack I'm gonna show you is reverse contour. This is gonna be great for anyone that wants to have their cheekbones a little bit more defined. So I like to go right underneath that contour with the doe foot actually flat on the face, which fits perfectly underneath the cheekbone. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to take the precision sponge, and I'm just going to blend that into the rest of the foundation. And you don't really see too much of a harsh line, but you definitely get that really nice definition. Now, depending on how much you want to define your cheekbones, you can go lighter with your concealer. You can do the corresponding shade like I did for just a slightly lighter defined cheekbone, or if you really want to define, you can go in with your brightening shade. So the next hack I'm going to show you is how to carve out eyebrows with concealer. One of my favorite hacks. It's great for when you haven't really tweezed in a really long time and you want to conceal those little hairs. It also really makes your eyebrows stand out. So what I did is I just took a little bit of 190, and I'm going to take that on an angled brush, and I'm just going to carve right underneath the brows and give this really, really nice shape. So that's why I prefer to do an angled brush. I feel like you can get a little closer to the under eyebrow area and really create this really nice line. And now blending the concealer on the brow bone. So you want to make sure that you always do this before your eyeshadow application. This trick also really helps with shaping your eyebrows. In fact, a lot of the times when I do eyebrows that are a little bit more bushy, I actually don't fill in the brows at all. I just carve them. And people are always asking me, what did you use to fill in the brows? And the majority of the time, it's really just me carving them out and giving them a really nice shape with concealer. So I went ahead and did a little bit of eyeshadow on her eyes. I did the Moroccan Spice eyeshadow palette. I did a little bit of mascara and then a little bit of Yacht Life matchsticks as blush. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna finish up the look by adding the lip. I'm gonna take a little bit of Stunna in the color Unbutton, and I'm just going to apply this all over the lips, focusing it more so on the lip line first. Now, one of my favorite hacks is to take a little bit of concealer and apply it on the lips for a 3D effect. Now I'm gonna be taking 170, which is a little lighter than Erin's shade, and I'm gonna take that on a flat eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to apply this on the inner parts of the lip and then blend with your finger around the edges. And what it's gonna do is just gonna give this really pretty 3D lip effect that makes the lips look nice and pouty. So now I'm gonna show you guys a cool trick to accentuate your décolleté and neckline. So I'm gonna take two concealers. I'm gonna take 180 and 300. And basically on all the hollows of the décolleté, I'm going to apply the darker color. I'm also gonna do a little on the sides here. Then I'm gonna take the lighter color and I'm gonna do lighter right in the center to highlight those areas. Then I'm gonna take the precision sponge and I'm gonna just start to blend it in. I like to blend out all the hollows first and then blend out the highlights at the very end, just to make sure that it gives it a nice pop. I'm pressing the product into the skin and kind of feathering it out so that we have this really nice gradient blend, because you want this to be believable and undetectable. So these are some of my favorite concealer hacks. Make sure that you guys let me know some of your favorite concealer hacks in the comments below. See you next time.